to discuss the executive branch update. So, as you guys have seen, that's passed. So now our next step will be to um, basically collect the candidates that we have to go up as our first astronaut, and then put that up for vote inside of the DAO. Um, I do think that it's worth reviewing what we have in the constitution for the election. So this is the first time that we're going to be actually running this election process. So it's worth walking through what was written down. I think that there's some stuff in there that isn't super clear. To be honest, and even though I was one of the authors here, I'm reading it back in retrospect. I'm kind of putting together yeah, I think it's decent, but I think it's worth reading here, and I think we should follow it as is described here. But um, I'm also open to amending this if we find that this isn't the process that we all that we feel is the right one. So basically, it says Moondao members may hold an election for a new astronaut if there's a vacancy. Candidate astronauts may be nominated by Moondao members and must have been part of the Senate for at least 180 days. Um, and then each nomination must go through the Senate with a supermajority vote. If there are multiple nominations that go through the Senate, then the DAO will vote among the candidates using vMOONEY with weighted voting. There may be multiple rounds of voting until a candidate astronaut receives supermajority votes to be confirmed as an astronaut. Um, so, yeah, the way that I interpret this is that anyone in the DAO can nominate someone else as running for astronaut, but they need to meet the requirements of being in the Senate for 180 days, um, and yeah, then afterwards we vote on it as a Senate with a supermajority vote. So I think it's worth giving this a couple of days to see if anyone would like to run as astronaut. I think it would be healthy to have more than one candidate and to run through the election process, even just to exercise the Constitution and see what differs between theory and practice. Just to make this process stronger. So yeah, I was thinking that we would give this maybe 3 days or so. See if people want to nominate others for being the astronaut role. Yeah, I'll definitely be running, but I do think it's healthy to have more people running as well. So um, yeah, and then after those 3 days, we'll have a list of candidates, and yeah, we can vote inside of the Senate using the proposal vote or the Senate vote channel to confirm those nominees, and then yeah, we can vote through the DAO. If it ends up just being me as the one nomination, um, it says here that if there is just one, it seems to me that the writing here says that if there are multiple nominations, then the DAO will vote between the candidates. But I still think it would be useful to have the DAO vote, even if there is just one candidate, to approve of the astronaut, and yeah, like I think it's worth asking the broader DAO, is this who we want to be filling this role in? But yeah, I just wanted to walk through all of that with you, and my interpretation of what was written, and hear your guys' thoughts. Yeah, like I said, this is the first time we're running through it, so as we go through it, we're probably gonna find things that in practice maybe don't make sense. Yeah, so
Yeah, first we'll say, yeah, congratulations for this proposal finally that go through. Yeah, my also also Pablo, thanks for reminding that. I think a lot of people has forgot about this the thing here. Everybody thought that you are already astronaut since a very long time. So my question is that will we go will we make an announcement or something to tell the to that commu all the community members know that okay, we in the reading of the Constitution we have, for example, 3 or 5 days windows for nominate uh, candidates for astronaut something, then go through the, I don't know if you still need a proposal or if someone interested or even you or something.
Yeah, well, I guess it's worth noting, who is eligible. So there is the requirement of being in the Senate for at least 180 days. Um, yeah, I think right now the and I might be wrong here. I think so. We currently have six Rocketeers inside of the Senate, and of those six, I believe you, Balak, have been here for over 180 days. Colin, I think maybe you also, Mitchie, um, and then I'm not sure uh, who else. So the current Rocketeers are Balak, Colin, Mitchie, myself, Manuel, and Lucas. Lucas, I'm not sure. I don't think you've been a Senate member
No,
for 180 days yet, right?
no, 5 months. Yeah.
Okay. So I
I'm
think
pretty
our
sure I've been attending these for at least 6 months.
yeah, but you haven't been a Senate member.
Oh, okay. So you have to be on the Senate for 180 days. How do we come up with 180 days?
I think the idea was just that the person should be someone that is pretty familiar with Moondao and how it works, and um, yeah, it would just be a way of protecting the DAO and ensuring that whoever is in that role is someone that at least understands the current system. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that makes a lot of sense. 180 days, you should have completed at least 2 projects or so. In a traditional timeline. So yeah, I think makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I think that the people that are eligible are Balak, Colin, Mitchie, and myself. Um, so yeah, uh,
Is Luffy no longer around, or what happened to him?
Luffy's on this call, but yeah, he's no longer a Rocketeer. I don't think, right, Luffy?
Ah,
There's no project that you're leading right now.
Yeah, as I Pablo, as I just asked that, will you just make a small announcement to this? You say, okay, according to our constitution, there's 3 or 4 people, they are eligible as candidates for astronauts. Then yeah, we will give 3 or 5 days windows. Then we'll go maybe yeah, especially for next Senate meeting, we will make the election, and after that we will also go to a snapshot voting something.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's definitely good to
Yeah.
get everyone on the same page. So
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
something to consider as well is are we allowing nominations for people that has been more than 180 days in the Senate but are not active Rocketeers right now, or has the Voyager role per se now or in the future? Maybe that's something important to define.
yeah, actually, no, that is a good point. The way that it's written here, it looks as though it's saying uh, that they've been a part of the Senate for 180 days. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are currently part of the Senate. So I think it's worth expanding
Yeah.
that for not current Rocketeers as well. So um, yeah, so that expands the list of people. Yeah, I think that would mean Luffy is eligible. I think that would also mean Ryan. Uh, Ryan, I think you've been in the Senate for over 2 quarters. Yeah.
Another question is that because by the executive branch proposal, we have also several other roles, for example, for operation and also the leader of social something. So will we to payroll to do it to nominate the, for example, who or one or two or even
That is voted in. So it's
okay,
not like we're not we're not voting those people in. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think Ryan was trying to say something, but his mic might not have been working. Yep, there we go. So supermajority vote is greater than 66.6. Yeah. You're saying we should have a higher bar, as in which like with like more than 180 days being part of the Senate, or what are you thinking? Hmm. I see. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think also we should discuss or at least make people aware of the proposal that you introduced in ideation earlier today, which would alleviate some of those issues of like quarter to quarter drop off. Um, yeah, but yeah, I think there are a couple things in here that if I could wave a magic wand, I might change slightly. So, for example, the way that this is worded, then the DAO will vote among the candidates using vMOONEY with weighted voting. It sounds to me as though that it's not using quadratic voting, because uh, vMOONEY with weighted voting, we calculate the voting power as the square root of vMOONEY, but here it's saying that we're using weighted voting, not quadratic voting. So that's kind of a weird way of wording this, almost describing like an alternate voting pattern just for the election. Yeah, I'd also be in favor of using ranked choice voting for something like this. Um, yeah, then the way that this is worded too, it sounds like after say like there's four people or so, and yeah, and we have the number one person. It says that there may be multiple rounds of voting until a candidate astronaut receives a supermajority vote to be confirmed as an astronaut. So I'm actually unclear what the mechanism is exactly. So like, does this mean that if we have four people, and then we select the number one person, like do we remove the fourth, third, and second? I really think that just a runoff ranked choice vote makes more sense than what's described here. So I would be open to uh, editing this, maybe the next time around. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with running with this process as is stated here for this election. But yeah, I definitely would be in favor of using just our regular voting power, and like ranked choice voting.
I'm a little confused about the term limits because it says here that they serve for 2 years, but then in the proposal that just got passed, the budget just for 8 months, I guess. Well, there's one for 6 and one for 8.
Yep. Well, the 6 month one, that one was rejected. So the 8th month one is the one that's in effect. And so the idea is that there's room for 3 astronauts, and each of them serve a 2-year term. So we're going to be uh, basically every 8 months voting in a new astronaut, such that at any one given moment we're always going to have 3 astronauts. So there's always going to be consistency there. But on those 8 month periods, we'll be re-examining the executive branch's budget. Yeah. Yeah, and we could also, if we're amending this to say ranked choice voting, I'd be open to also writing that into uh, this the astronaut system explicitly, saying that we're going to be using this 8 month period. Um, yeah. But yeah, great. Okay. Well, I'll write an update out to the DAO to describe some of these logistics. So yeah, just to repeat it one more time and be clear, we'll have a 3-day period where anyone in the DAO can nominate someone else to be an astronaut. Um, and then, yeah, as long as they meet the criteria of being a Senate member for 180 days, and yeah, I agree with the interpretation. I forgot who brought it up, of saying they just have to have been a Senate member for at least 180 days. If they aren't currently a Senate member, that's okay. So then at least we have a broader pool of candidates potentially. And then after that we'll run a DAO vote. And if there's just one candidate, then we'll still do the DAO vote just as an approval or disapproval. And then if there are multiple, then we'll run the system and until we have a supermajority for one of the members. So if out of the candidates one of them receives over 66%, then they'll be appointed as the astronaut. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, sounds good.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, just considering the timing and that those operations are kind of urgent, and yeah, I would propose, to have a shorter nomination period, something like 1 or 2 day max, instead of 3. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really like the 24 hours threshold for this kind of stuff, but yeah, what do you guys think?
Where did the little icons go where you can like something or love something or give an emoji or I
Those
feel
are
like that's
long gone.
missing.
Those haven't been in these meetings for forever. That was part of the reason why we moved to GatherTown before. But
Can we bring them back? Is that a
No.
Discord function?
Yeah, that's a Discord thing. We don't have any control over it. They'll probably bring it back, but regarding the 1 to 3 days, I mean, I think I'm comfortable with 1 or 3. I mean, 2 might be good. That might be a good healthy medium.
Yeah, regarding this 1 days or 3 days, I think maybe 3 days that also maybe the Senate members or people already over 160 80 days as Senate members to think about it. Not maybe not good, maybe it's good things. Should we? I don't think maybe we should so rush to just 1 day or something.
Right. Yeah. Ideally, I mean, yeah, my thought process behind this was that, hey, Senate members will be, evaluating people that could be great racketeers, in a long period of time, and not only, when the election arrives. But yeah, I know that uh, on the ground, it's not, what happens most of the time. So
Yeah, I think giving it 3 days is okay. Just giving people a little bit of time to, think it through and not rush too much. Um, at the end of the day, so like yeah, after those 3 days, I think we should review the candidates. I'll message everyone, and then so I guess today is Wednesday, so that'll be like a Saturday, and yeah, I guess the only thing is I asked that people check out the voting chat, Senate chat on Saturday, and vote to um, yeah, basically approve of the nomination, and then we'll be able to get that up on Snapshot um, to vote that week. So yeah, does that sound good to people?
It's good.
yeah,
Sounds good to me.
Great. Okay. Um, all right. So I guess we can move on to the next agenda item, unless, or are there any other questions about this process or any thoughts before we move on? All right. So next topic. So Stewardship 2.0 did not pass. Um, yeah, there was some good discussion already inside of the Discord. But yeah, I kind of wanted to yeah, have some room to discuss this together inside of the Senate, and just get people's feedback on next steps from here. I want to pass it over to Michi to share some of his thoughts as the author of the proposal. Which I mean, he wasn't the ideas in there came from all of us collectively, but Michi helped compile all of the ideas and get it all on paper. So yeah, I'll pass it on to you, Michi.
Yeah. Yeah. I I guess maybe people would be expecting me to say that I'm disappointed, but I actually think that the um, rejection of this proposal has marked a really important change, and a lot of the response that came out of it was, I mean, I'm really optimistic about it actually, and I think it'll be really cathartic for us to kind of, well, now moving forward, I think the general consensus is that we'll be basically just dissolving the guild steward structure. We're gonna, just basically stop doing that for a while, see what happens. Everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens with the executive branch and with the new astronaut elections. And um, yeah, I think we'll um, be able to just simplify, cut things back a lot. And I think it'll be a good thing. Um, so, what else did I want to say? Give me one sec. I wrote down some stuff. Um, yeah, basically, guilds have been a really long and complicated part of Moondav's history, and um, I think that there's a lot of things that were bundled with stewardship that maybe wasn't necessary. Things like the maintenance and operations, and doing things like responding to support tickets and what have you. That type of ongoing operational work will now go under the executive branch. So I think, yeah, we're gonna have a clean slate, uh, fresh, clear stage to play on, and uh, I think that, like, yeah, a lot of good ideas will come out of this. A lot of good ideas are already coming out of this, and I would advise everyone to go read the proposal that Brian wrote as well. That's in ideation right now. Yeah, but that's basically. Oh, and I think in the short term will be probably just removing and restructuring some of the channels and roles in our Discord here, and generally simplifying things. So that's it. That's all I have to say. If anyone has anything else they want to add about stewardship as well, then go ahead.
Have proposals always been had a 70% requirement to pass?
I believe they have, at least as long as I've been here.
Okay.
I think with the project system is usually at 70%. But yeah, I believe that in the project system it still has that 70% requirement. Yeah, although yeah, in the Constitution we define supermajority as a 66 as a 2/3 majority. So yeah, it's a good question. But yeah, any other thoughts on the 2.0 stewardship proposal and new directions?
Yeah, I think already by the community guild, we have I think a long time discussion on this. Is, do we need this, or should we just abandon it? So I think, from my point of view, again, I think it might be good that we make this proposal a little smarter. And for example, meeting, as we always get feedback, maybe too many. And let's have maybe a little smarter, productive meeting, and also onboarding call as by 2.0. We say that each guild need to have a onboarding call something, maybe also make it a little compact. And yeah, but I still think maybe it's too good have a stewards to as like gardeners to maintain some task basically by DAO. Maybe another way that is to go my point of view, to go no MVP, something I think if there's no MVP, there will be definitely. But yeah, thanks, Michi. You put all things together to first version and also version 2. I don't know, maybe you need also version 3 something. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say regarding the meetings moving forward, what I would suggest is that we essentially, like, unless there is someone who wants to step up and continue writing weekly agendas and hosting those meetings, then we'll essentially just shutter them for now. I think that basically we should just have more ad hoc topical meetings. And I think that anyone can do that. Anyone should be able to put a meeting on the agenda, and maybe not even necessarily a recurring weekly one, just a one time one. But regarding onboarding calls, I'll still be doing those on Mondays. Just, I don't know, I think it's useful. We've had some interesting people show up to some of them, and I like talking about Moondao, so I'll probably keep going to those.
Yeah. I think the onboarding meetings have definitely been uh, good. I'm starting to see some activity from new people that were just in that on Monday. Um, yeah, and maybe we roll that into a project. But yeah, yeah, I think ultimately, we relied on the wisdom of the DAO a bit with stewardship, and yeah, like we'll take the direction that they lead us in, and yeah, I do feel like some amount of catharsis and just kind of sunsetting the system as is right now, and then just yeah, simplifying things a little bit more. I think yeah, we've got a pretty complicated system where we've been adding a lot of different pieces to things, and yeah, I think now is a time to kind of look at it in a critical eye and remove the unnecessary pieces. So yeah, maybe we remove a little too much, getting rid of the guilds, but I think then it'll highlight what is important, and then we can address those directly. And I think some of those things will roll into the executive branch. Like I'm thinking there is a decent amount of operations around just maintaining some of these platforms that we're on, like GitHub and our servers, and just the domains and all the stuff like that. General like gardening, sweeping, making sure that things are maintained, and some of that can be rolled into the executive branch for sure.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, since the beginning of the executive branch with this operations lead role, I was kind of already expecting, that the person on this role would take on, the responsibility for those tasks and platforms that keep Moondao running. So yeah, it's a good thing to know that this will be considered, even if it's a separate role or the same role or whatever. I also think that it's wise, to bring a kind of a unified approach, because this whole thing with guilds, we tried out with different approach to it, with MVPs, without MVPs, and by the end of the day, it's not only a voter's decision, but also the contributor's decision, to not continue this as a project with zero MVP. So it's a decision of us all. I think it's important also to mention that nobody is saying, hey, you can't pass on a proposal to continue being a steward with no MVP, as it was last quarter. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think it was just a collective decision at the end of the day. But yeah, okay. Any other thoughts on Stewardship 2.0? Maybe also it'd be worth maybe introducing, Ryan, the proposal that you threw in an ideation earlier this morning. We don't have to discuss all the ins and outs of it, but I think it'd be good to just get a high level idea of what's being proposed, and then yeah, we can drill into it async and leave comments.
Yeah, I would definitely take a closer look at it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of putting adding more people in the Senate that are not necessarily leading projects. But I think it's an interesting thought to maybe retain those talents. And yeah, I mean, I would probably be more comfortable if we just stick to what they received in the previous quarter and then projected this into the next one instead of a fixed amount. Because for people that are lower in the leaderboard, it would be just a huge increase, and for people that are higher, it would be pretty different. So I don't know, or maybe limiting it at this amount and then projecting the minimum amount. I don't know, but yeah, we can discuss more async.
Cool. Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's an interesting mechanic, and there's definitely something there. But yeah, it's a good doc, so yeah, people should jump in there. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. This will just be a quick update. We've already posted a little bit in one of the channels. It's concerning the Q2 Mooney. So yeah, yesterday Lucas, Colin, and myself, we started moving forward with sending over the vMOONEY. But yeah, we ran into we immediately ran into a big hurdle, which was that the bridge for safe is not working. Um, we're not exactly sure why, but usually there's a method for multisigs to transfer their assets over from mainnet to Polygon, but it was just down. So we had two options there. We could send it over to it's I think around 27 million Mooney, and send it over to one individual, and then have them bridge it over to Polygon individually instead of through the safe, or run these through mainnet. Um, we started to run one of the vesting payments through mainnet, and yeah, it was starting to get ridiculously expensive. So yeah, uh, we feel like it probably makes more sense to stick with doing this through the L2. Colin was able to successfully deploy the staking contract that we have on Polygon, so that was great. But yeah, I just we wanted to update you guys on the progress with that, and yeah, I think we're gonna track down and try to figure out whether or not the Polygon bridge will be up and running soon. And once we have more info on that, I think the decision will be, should we just trust one member to hold the Mooney and then transfer it? I mean, we've done stuff like that in the past. It's definitely not a good long-term solution, but it's a path that we could take just to unblock this. But yeah, mostly just wanted to keep you guys updated on that progress. Colin or Lucas, I don't know if there's anything else that I missed on that or something you guys want to add.
No, I'm good.
Pablo, if we were to send it someone, would you be the trusted party, or could you? What? Yeah.
I could, but part of me is hesitant to be the person, just because I could see a world where the IRS says something like, "Oh, this is income," even though immediately I'm transferring it back over to the DAO, and I don't know, maybe that's like a a, a dumb worry, but
It's a
I think
transaction the IRS may come after you. That's actually how they classify it. From what I've heard from people just things I've attended over on the Hill, that is a taxable moment.
yeah. So ideally, it'd be maybe someone outside of the U.S. That we trust, but yeah. I
Yeah,
just wanted
just
to hit
also
on
to
actual
assess this
security.
risk, we don't have, yeah, even though there was a bad actor in as the middleman, we don't have that kind of liquidity, basically. I think maybe on Max now we have, but yeah, on basically every other platform we don't have that kind of liquidity. So yeah, this also diminished the risk a little bit, even though there's still the bridge risk itself, but yeah, anyway.
I wonder if all of this would be different from a taxation perspective once we're incorporated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
that's a good
so.
question.
Yeah, at least yeah, me as a U.S. citizen, I don't think it changes anything on my end.
Yeah, but what if you're doing it not as you, but as the nonprofit?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and also this could be just an unfounded worry. Um, I think also it's you could classify that as a different kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I know that. I mean, here in Canada, the government doesn't have any definition at all for anything close to a governance token. So it's
yeah,
really
true.
hard to say. Probably, I mean, I'm assuming it's probably the same in the States.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I guess it'll be a game time decision on how we run that. But it is just kind of like just a technical hurdle there. Maybe on for all we know, the bridge is already back up and running. I don't know.
I have a question here. So did we test the full, let's say, workflow from like bridging, staking, and things like that, and even airdrop or sending the vMOONEY?
That's what we were doing basically when we were running this. But yeah, we just ended up hitting a stumbling block immediately. But yeah, we have I think all of the pieces, all our yeah, the staking contract is up on Snapshot. Lucas was able to figure out a strategy so that people could vote with L2 Mooney. Yeah, like all of those pieces are there. They're just waiting to get tested, basically. Yeah.
So if we're going to get tested, so we don't need a large amount of money, right?
Yeah, but the issue is that the bridge was down. I mean, we could do this with an individual, but the way that we have this operating is we want to do it in more of a trustless way. So having
Yeah, and I understood that the bridge is down, but if for the multi-site, so is there no problem with let's say individual wallet, right? So we can test it with the individual wallet before we do it for large amount of money.
for sure.
Yeah, and we have stumbling blocks in two ends of this process. We have this first one with the bridge, and the second one is unlocking Mooney with a multi-sig. We're getting an error that for where I stand, we're trying to debug, but I don't think we achieved a solution to it yet. So even though we are able to bridge tokens, through an individual just to make this test, we can't execute the transaction on a multi-sig yet. So it will not make a difference. The contract itself that is deployed on the L2 is already tested in Mumbai. I tested it, and Colin tested it as well. So yeah, it's working, but we still need to figure out this multi-sig process.
Well, so when you say multi-sig, is that in the layer 1 or in the layer 2?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we tested it on layer 1, and we had this problem. So yeah, it will probably be the same on L2 because it's the same contract.
Yeah, guys, I don't want to get too much into the weeds with all of it here. But yeah, Luffy, happy to answer more questions. After the meeting. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately we just need to like figure out how long it's going to take for them to get the safe bridge up and running again, and then once we have that information, we might just send it over to an individual to transfer over to the L2 and then back. We'll pick the best person for the job there, someone that we can trust to do that, and yeah. But I just wanted to update people on the status, basically. Yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts?
Should we take a vote on if we're doing through through a bridge for through one person or doing on L1 or what do you think?
I think let's track down the information on how long until the bridge might be down, and then and then from there we can figure it out. I mean,
I just got some
don't
info there, and it should take at least a couple of months.
couple months.
Because it's not a priority for them now. So
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, then yeah, I think we should talk. You, me, and Colin, and figure out who we'd select to do that operation for us, and then we can figure out if the DAO feels comfortable with doing it that way. I mostly just want to make everyone aware of this because there's a risk that whoever is the one individual. I mean, there's still a risk even just with the 3 of 5 multi-sig that was set up to run these operations, but in theory, we're distributing the risk. There needs to be 3 bad actors instead of just one. So yeah, but yeah, let's talk Yumi and Colin, and we can figure out who we'd select to do that bridging for us. But yeah, that does I mean, if it's going to take multiple months, that does kind of throw a monkey wrench into our current system, because that means that we'd probably have to do that again uh, in another 2 months at the end of the next quarter. So, anyways, yeah, let's discuss Yumi and Colin and figure out what the best course of action would be here, and then we can update the rest of the DAO.
Oh, so do we have more topics for today?
Yeah, I just saw Justin's forehead for a second there. Yeah, so the next topic that we've got up here is the second astronaut proposal. Yeah, Balak asked to discuss this. So yeah, the proposal is still up there. I think yeah, it's still collecting feedback. It's not ready for vote this week. I'm hoping to have a draft put together for vote by next week. But yeah, especially since it's a bigger proposal, I just wanted to have it up there for feedback for a little bit longer. There's already been some great feedback from Luffy and Bollock, and a few other people too. Yeah, I think Blue Origin will want to know what our plans are as well. So I'm trying to loop them into the discussion too. And yeah, I feel a lot better about this sort of method of Sybil resistance instead of what we did previously, asking for people's IDs and all of that, which was the highest level of ID based Sybil resistance with an ID and an image and all of that. And then even then, there were professional uh, like bot armies that were buying a bunch of our NFTs using real identities, real people, and real IDs. But yeah, anyways, I think that the social method of verification will be a lot stronger. But yeah, Balak, I'll pass it over to you since yeah, you wanted to bring this up here.
Yeah, thanks, Pablo. No, yeah, sure. This Pablo just put in iterations. They're not by submitting proposal for voting, just because it's we all know this will be a huge things for Mundao. So because I already discussed a little bit by the committee guild meeting, and because I see just me and Luffy, and maybe also Luke give some feedback. So we want, especially people here, to give more ideas, more feedback here, and they're actually sure Pablo will add and more things, because there's a lot of OKRs and by this proposal. There's maybe a general two things we need to think about. Pablo, as you written, which is I think is pretty cool, good, and the people need to stake some money to become a community member. Do we generally have this problem with the lawyer, or is okay this time?
I mean, there wasn't an issue with that last time either. In fact, we we made the decision to make them just totally free to anyone,
Yeah.
because it was a bear market at the NFTs and all that. But yeah, we could have charged for the NFTs, and yeah, I think that this method of basically verifying individuals through our onboarding process and making like having them actually be members of the DAO is going to be a lot stronger. But yeah, that said, we should still have an alternate means of entry for people. And then once we have a more fleshed out plan, I'm planning on. I've already spoken to the sweepstakes lawyers a little bit, but I really want to make sure that there's a full plan before really engaging them deeper, because they're very expensive.
Mm.
They're not someone that you want to have just like a friendly chat with, because they'll charge you $700, $800 an hour. So yeah.
Okay, understand. Yeah, another general, because we we don't need to run the details, every details, because just by iteration. Regarding timeline, because this very is super important. We can organize how to promotion or to do the tasks. As you did Borigin give us a timeline that in, I don't know, in next 2 or 3 or end of year need to give the candidates?
No, there's no timeline, and yeah, I mean, they've been very clear that we're not supposed to talk about any timeline, and so yeah, it's just
Okay.
yeah.
So
I think you know that, Pollock, too. Like
yeah,
yeah.
okay, understand. Okay. Then we also, because in this proposal as judgment as think by the community guild, just maybe a little bit for here, as judgment from Luffy and also Lucas, that and we maybe to separate, we see a marketing or a promotion campaign for this event. So yeah, to to that more people in the world know this event, and yeah, also Luffy give ideas and Lucas also with different ways. So yeah, just for maybe a short discussion here to get some feedback. I also put in iteration as after discussion by the community guild.
Yeah, I honestly I prefer to just keep it inside of the doc, so we can have specific combos in there, because we could talk about this for an hour here, but yeah, I think let's keep it async. I think that's more efficient. Yeah, I mean, I think these are all important issues. I just don't want to get into the weeds of, how we're gonna do the marketing and what we're gonna do with, because it's a big proposal, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to take people's time up too much.
Okay. Yeah. From my point of view, I'm open it, and maybe integrated in this proposal to also be good. Yeah. So maybe just chat in leave feedback or in iteration or in your proposal direct. Yeah. But anyway, I appear that this is a very, because this need a lot of things to do. I encourage the members here to give a read, and also I think they need a lot of people to do this for this onboarding and also for AIF selection, yeah, promotion, something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll need a strong team on this, and that team will need to, yeah, be very, very active, because there's going to be a lot of work involved for sure. So yeah, thanks, Pollock.
No problem. This is I just in my head as, because I didn't check the jazz, because as Lucas mentioned last time, it seemed like that some members has a lot of FTs. I don't know how many because I didn't check a jazz, maybe 50 or 100 FTs. So yeah, jazz. So yeah, I don't know how to handle this. So Lucas, am I right? As maybe you just take look the jazz something.
Yeah. On the open scenarios, there is one address with more than 100 tickets, and a couple of others with more than 50. But yeah, um, I was just unsure on how this would play around in the legal side of things. But yeah, anyway, I think we can also figure this out on the process, after the proposal is passed. Yeah, not sure if it needs to, be that clear beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, anything that we do, we're definitely going to get reviewed by the or the legal group. But yeah, ultimately, there's a lot of moving pieces to this, and there's going to be a lot of aspects to this proposal that, yeah, like I think it's like high level overview feedback is important, but yeah, it probably will change a lot once we bring the lawyers in too. That's usually how it works. So yeah. But yeah, there's no rush on this, and yeah, let's I mean, yeah, we don't have to go super slow, but yeah, we don't have to like rush into any sort of decisions or anything like that right now. And I think people should know that everything that's in ideation is just it's a living document for us to coordinate on, and nothing written in there is actually what is going to happen in practice until the proposal is passed through. And even once it's passed, there might be something that the legal team tells us, oh, this needs to change, and then yeah, things likely will change throughout the process. So yeah, but yeah, I think we it's kind of a blessing and a curse to do things out in the open. Like yeah, people read that document and then they start to buy NFTs or something like that. Like I don't know if this is actually going to be how it all plays out. So it's just a document for us to coordinate. Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the next topic here. So IAC update from Justin. I'll give you the floor. But I guess it's worth noting that the proposal has only been in ideation I think 2 days. So I think it's good to discuss it and make people aware of it, but we should vote on it after more people have had a chance to review it.
Yeah, so I put the thing on ideation. I even put a draft proposal on there. It was basically I used the Dow Denver one as a template because that's what you recommended. I looked also back at the IAC proposal from last year. The funding is definitely scaled back. We spent over $40,000 last year. This year, only requesting 12,000, of which a lot of it might not get used depending on who's actually going to be at the conference. And right now, it's 2 or 3 of us. Yeah, somebody had chimed in and said that the proposal doesn't necessarily meet project version 4, so it's kind of syntactic thing that I have to update, or if someone else update it for me, that would be really nice. Yeah, hopefully we can get this passed through quickly. I feel like it's not too different from 4 or 5 of the other proposals that have been
Background
passed.
noise
So,
from you guys hear? It's my problem.
can you guys hear me all right? I apologize. I had to kind of come to a thing, so yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of background noise, but
Can you
yeah,
guys hear me
it's
all right?
possible to understand.
That's all I have. Yeah. Hopefully you guys were able to hear most of what I said.
Yeah, I could understand you fine. Okay, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I think it's good that you use the template from Dow Denver. So yeah, and I think also if anyone is interested in going to IAC, yeah, definitely join in on that proposal. It's in Azerbaijan, right, Justin?
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of countries that fly directly to Azerbaijan, but most of it in the Middle East. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's an amazing conference.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I haven't had a chance to give it a read, but I'll definitely give it a read this week, and then yeah, we can get it up for a vote next Wednesday.
Yeah, Justin, just general, yeah, general questions. And can you maybe just update we use your content in the project before, but in that one, I think it's a old version which you use, and just a few small things. For example, yeah, we need to delegate and not astronaut or sponsor anymore. And the first things, second things, I maybe can you please also make the OKRs a little more clear, as I see there's sorry, open it. Yeah, to which one is
Sure.
very good. Onboarding 10 new members. They also change go get commitments for purchase 0G fly live ship something, maybe to make a little more specific something to get. It would be great.
Okay, yeah, if you could put a note in the proposal, I'll elaborate.
Yeah, Bollock, if you could just leave the comments in the proposal, and then yeah, I think it's just easier, more efficient that way instead of doing it here on the call.
Yeah, already just because just on the call, so just to him.
All right, appreciate it, Bollock. Okay, that is. Is there anything else, Justin? Anything else you want to bring up about the proposal, or any other questions that people have for Justin? Great. All right. Well, yeah, we've got an open floor. So yeah, anything people want to bring up or discuss before we close up, feel free to jump in here.
Yeah, I have two topics. One of them is I'd like to officially communicate that I'm stepping down as a rocketeer on the B2B slash coalition Mundal coalition proposal. There is up and running as a project before no MVP proposal. Yeah, basically we had some disagreements in the strategics behind it, and I feel that I can bring more value to Mundal, independently instead of inside that proposal. So I will be in the next couple of weeks, conducting and posting an ideation, more practical ways of kind of collaboration with the people that I'm already in touch with, and as I understand, I think that Manuel will keep that proposal running and will take the lead there. Not sure if any other rocketeers would like you to take my place as the inbound rocketeer. But yeah, anyway, if someone wants to step up and fill that whole role, just get in touch with Manuel. I'm also happy to pass any documentation that you may need to fulfill that. So yeah, that's one thing. And anyway, the other thing is that's really the only thing. I mean, the other thing is I'm preparing a proposal for a while now. Actually, since I've became a Mundal member, there is kind of like a way to bring the future into the present. I'm trying to kind of make this exercise of saying, hey, we want to go to the moon on 2030 and we want to have sweet moon parties there, but not a lot of people would be really able to attend, and I would really love to have this with a lot of people and hopefully also fundraise a little bit for Mundal. So I've been thinking for a while on trying to do a travel into the future and conduct a couple sweet moon parties here on Earth with Earthlings and Rocketeers and Moon Settlers in general, and also keep selling merch, keep it going to conferences as this model showed up as slightly profitable. So I mean, I think that's it for today. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing some Earth simulation of our moon party. That would be pretty fun. and yeah, looking forward to seeing um, another version of the IRL merch, especially now that we have the marketplace running. We could throw some of the NFTs through the marketplace as well. But yeah, sorry, Mitchie, I saw you also unmuted here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we should start making just a really sick playlist now.
Yeah, I love that idea. We actually do have a Moondao playlist that we played when we were like in the final moments of our juice box raise. We made a, a Moondao playlist. I can see if I can dig it up somewhere. It was pretty good. But I love the idea of getting a Moondao playlist running.
Everyone should contribute at least one song.
Voting through Mooney, which songs
Yeah.
get played on the playlist.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's see if I can pull up the old one.
Hey guys, I just want to have a comment here. So last week, I stepped out from the rocket rope, but the thing is, I didn't even know that until I have no, let's say, permission to certain channel. So maybe we can think about another way for that. Let's say make some announcement before we remove someone from the role, and it also have the community to aware of, okay, this person is no longer rocketer or thing like that.
Yeah, I agree. We should be better about like announcing role changes and yeah, all of that. Yeah, and even having like a little bit of a tiny ceremony, when people become rocketeers, or when people are finished, and then um, they become a voyager, stuff like that. I think it goes a long way, even just in setting a good like, I don't know, just good vibes. When people are either leaving or joining, I think are really important. So, yeah, I think that's kind of been like an operational thing that has, just with the number of operations and things that have been shuffled around. I think we should get better at that now with the executive branch proposal, and just having more hands on deck to help with those sort of things. Yeah, totally
I would
agree.
I would love to see us have like an official inauguration oath.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Nothing really like long or anything. Just a quick, you know, hand on the Bible. I don't know what we'd make people put their hands on.
Yeah.
Hand in their heart, I
And
guess.
the Regulus.
Hand on the regolith. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, as long as it doesn't get really. I guess as a judge, can you choose any book that you like? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, we should definitely do that though. I think it'd be cool, as long as it doesn't get too culty or get too weird.
Yeah.
If it's lightweight, I think it's a good thing.
Have like a pledge to sacrifice Moloch.
Yeah, that would be, that might veer on a little bit culty, but I could get behind that. Makes more sense. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, anything else that people want to bring up before we close out here? Any other thoughts? Yeah, maybe on I mean, just a brief note. Yeah, I'm excited that we got the executive branch proposal in, and also excited, even though the result on the stewardship proposal was a no, I think it's awesome to have that clarity too. And you know, Ryan was bringing this up a long time ago, that we spend so much time talking about sort of the meta issues of the DAO and governance processes, stuff like that. And moving to this sort of 8-month cycle to discuss the big pieces and just kind of getting some consensus on those, I think will be a much needed change. And then also just having more support on these non project operations will do a lot to just remove bottlenecks on things and just make sure that the core stuff is working. I also think that it's surprising that the executive branch proposal went through, given a lot of the debate and um, just like back and forth between the CN community and the EN community. And I think it's kind of like a vote of confidence from them to see that go through. And I think that we shouldn't let the broader community down. I think that despite a lot of the misunderstandings that we've had with some of the CN community, some of our like most fervent supporters are in there, and a lot of them have been just kind of waiting to have something to cheer about for Moondao. And I think that we want to give them something to cheer about. And so I think that plus getting our second astronaut reselected, I think it's I really hope that that's going to breathe new life into the DAO, bring a lot of new faces into the DAO. And we've done a lot of building in the past few months. We've matured a lot as an organization. We're definitely lower in numbers, but I think higher in quality and overall. Just yeah, I think the people here in this call right now, I'm really proud of the group that we've assembled here, and I think that we've got a good thing going. And so yeah, I think we like I'm looking forward to a lot of big changes in the next couple months. And I'm excited to finally get the D prize idea off of the ground. I think that's also going to be a really exciting change too. The marketplace is already getting a lot of really good eyes on it. The decentralized sales stuff that we've been working, I'm getting like some good DMs about that and good ideas about like what future directions might hold there. I don't know. I think that yeah, we've taken a lot of blows in the last few months. And it's been a tough time, but I think that we through adversity we've become a lot closer and stronger. And I think that we've just have a really solid group now. So yeah, I'm I'm feeling really optimistic about Moondao lately. So and I hope that you guys feel that way too, and see that the tides are kind of changing. Not even just within Moondao, but I feel like there's sort of a here comes the sun moment where a lot of the broader um like crypto markets are starting to recover too. So yeah, anyways, I don't want to monologue too long, but I just want to say thanks everyone that's been with us through all of the chaos. And that yeah, I'm feeling like we're headed in a strong direction here. So yeah.
Seconded. Here.
Cool. Well, yeah, don't want to get too sappy, but yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate you all.
I think it goes without saying that we all appreciate you as well, Pablo.
Thanks.
And it's good to see finally this executive branch pass after so much time, because you've we know you've put a lot of work into this, and it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm just excited to get more help on some of these things, and I think it's gonna be a big change. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. I don't want to hold you guys up here too long, so I don't know if there's anything else people want to bring up, but if not, we can close up. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Good night, guys. Good morning. Bye.
All right. Bye all.
Bye.
Bye everyone.